Do you think the Jets should just have embraced a full-on rebuild? I feel like the Jets are dipping their toe in the water of a rebuild, but they're not jumping all the way in. They got Sauce Gardner traded, held
Yeah.
on to Breece and Garrett Wilson. Do you feel like they should let one of those guys go and just go full on, like just dive into the rebuild pool or water there, so to speak?
No, I think if you're going to trade, like if I'm going to bring a new quarterback into the system, I want him to have that stability. I want him to have a running back to throw. I mean, sorry, hand off to
Mm-hmm.
and a wide receiver to throw to. I mean, I just feel like that's a much better way to succeed, and then now I can just build within the draft with my other picks, right? Build the. If it's me, I'm taking the quarterback and then I'm building the line around him. I'm make sure he has the protection and to get it to hand off to Breece and 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 give it to Sauce, on the receiver side because I'd rather build that
Wilson.
way first and then we'll worry about my defense later. I want to build my quarterback up first. Let's get that piece figured out first.
What's interesting is that I don't. Do they have enough? I'm going to look in there and see if they have enough to really go after their guy. And also, you just don't know who the guy is. That's why I really hate when I don't like it. I understand that it's a necessary evil because you want to be able to have a lot of bites at the apple. So you're kind of amassing these picks.
Mm-hmm.
But Eugene, sometimes it just becomes so hard to trust the people making the picks. Like it just becomes so hard to trust that just because those are available. I'm kind of almost wanting you to trade for guys more. I almost trust you more trading for a guy than I would trust giving you a pick. You know what I mean? Because
so you're scared of the picks. You're scared of the Jets. I mean, I don't know why you're
right
because
they pick so high, Eugene. They're routinely there. You know what I mean? Like it's like the Browns. You guys are routinely. You know what the top 5 is about, bro. You're there all the time. Like you're always sucking, so you're always there unless you've already given up your pick somewhere. You're always there. So it's kind of like if you're those fan bases.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any of these organizations, front offices, if you're the Jets or any other teams of sports organizations in any of these cities that have perennially sucked for a long time, you don't owe them like, hey, we got 10 picks, and then thinking that you're going to be able to trade those 10 for a guy, please.
We got this.
Trade those 10 for a guy that somebody else has made the pick for. Like with these, I trust that guy. Start trading him for the Harry Roseman picks. Let's look at Howie. What do you think about where our picks should be made? Because the thing is, the way that picks are being made now, it's not working out for you. Maybe I just start trading for Devon. Maybe I start looking at the Eagles and just start trying to get guys off it. I'll give you 2 or 3 of my picks for that guy. I'll give you 2 or 3 of my picks for that guy right there. You guys are good with them. You guys can make another pick. You guys can draft another Jalen Carter, wherever. You guys are just so good at drafting. I just trust that you guys will continue to be good at drafting. So you guys will continue to have good players. Whereas we seem to never. Well, who's the last? I mean, I struggle to say that Joe Namath was the last great Jets quarterback, but that's not crazy. He might be.
No.
I mean, you can count guys like, well, you want to count like other like a Sanchez, who took them to some AFC games. AFC, I want to say AFC Championship, man.
AFC Championship, yeah. But again, you're right.
Remember the Sanchez days?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And then that's the thing. It's like and here's the thing. You gotta capitalize on these moments, right? You've got 2 drafts, and again, this year is not the year of the quarterback. Yeah, you got your Indiana quarterback.
How high are they? So how not necessarily how high they're picking, but how many picks do they have in this year's first round draft? Do they have a couple picks in this year's first round?
Oh yeah, they've got a couple. They got a lot of picks this year in the draft from all the trades.
Because if they got a couple picks in this year's first, so what you got to try to do then at this point is either push the chips to the middle of the table for whoever the quarterback may be, maybe 1 or 2 or something like that. Because the thing is, I knew that, or not knew, but when the Kenny Pickett year happened, it was kind of like a weak quarterback class.
Jeez,
it's a weak quarterback class year, bro, and everybody kind of knew it. And people maybe felt like the Drake May class had been great, but I don't think people knew how great that class would really turn out to be. that turned out to be a very good quarterback class. With like almost all those players, QBs that went in the first round, starting in for NFL teams. Almost all of them, if not all of them, were starting for NFL teams.
Right.
So that ended up being an amazing draft for quarterbacks. So I could see where you kind of have that draft, but I don't recall going into that draft, Eugene. Everybody's saying that. I don't recall saying, "Hey, all these quarterbacks are going to be great." I just think that the draft just kind of turned out that way. And all the quarterbacks end up being great. But the year we had Kenny Pickett, we had Desmond Ridder the year with that. I don't know if that was the same year that we took.
That was the same year.
But that was a terrible year.
Yep. Horrible.
So you can push all your chips to the middle of the table and say, hey, we're going to address this, that, or the other in this draft. But I feel like you kind of have the draft addressing you to a certain degree. Because depending on what's available there and when you're going and how you're positioned and what other team needs what, these are far from guarantees, Eugene. You're far from guarantees, man. I would split the baby here. If I had like a ton of picks, what I would do, split the baby, man. I would try to get me a high draft pick, but I'm going to go chase a free agent that I know, man. I'm going to go try to chase me a quality free agent, and then maybe I split the baby and try to use some draft picks to also move up or so, or, and try to capitalize on this or build my team out a couple of different ways.
Right.
But it's a struggle for them on the offensive side. And I think that's where you're looking at some of the better teams, Eugene. Like we're looking at some of the better teams these days. They're putting up a ton of points. They're scoring a ton. Like when you see a team like, and it just to show you what the difference is, when you see a team like the Ravens, let's say you see a team like the Ravens, or you see a team like even the Colts up to this point. You know what I mean? You see a team like the Colts, you always think they're going to score. Like you think do you think these teams are going to score? Like when they have the ball, you think there's a chance that these teams will score when they get the ball?
Right.
The Jets, when is the last time you thought the Jets were going to score?
Never.
And I could just give you the silence there and just go back to the Sanchez day. We're going to have to go back a long time before you thought that when the Jets get the football, they're going to score. The same feeling, guys, that you get when you see that Lamar Jackson, when you see that Josh Allen. It's a surprise when these guys, the Jalen Hurts, the Phillies of the world, it's a surprise when they don't score. No. It's like, okay, well, if they have a 3 and out, that's more shocking. Whereas the Jets scoring is more shocking.
Right.
You cannot survive in an NFL where you got Seattle going gangbusters, it looks like up there. Like these guys are scoring a lot. You're going to have to keep up. You got to be able to put up points, and the Jets just don't strike me as a team that can do it. Even my team, my team, the Steelers, I love them. But the offensive woes, to me, we're not offensively up there with some of these other teams that are just like offensively loaded. And I have defense will have to have an amazing game to keep us in games. We have to have an amazing game. Can we keep up with a Lamar Jackson? I mean, we can keep up with, I think, Justin Fields when they were back. We're back and forth with them, scoring 20, 30 points. We were able to hold serve with that. But can a team come in and hold serve with a Seattle that's just casually putting up points, or
right.
At least the defense showed up against the Colts, and I feel like that's how my team, the Steelers anyway, we have to stay in games, would beat the defense. That's how the Jets kind of hung their hat on for a while, but maybe they moved off of that. Maybe is it time for the Jets to pivot to defense? What have the Jets even been besides just bad? Here, I like Saleh when Saleh was there, man. I think maybe we should bring Saleh back in.
Good defense.
Because you just brought in Aaron Glenn, so I'm not going to do the guy like that. I like coaches having a year or two.
No, I think Aaron needs to have I don't blame him for the Justin Fields. I feel like it's more on the GM. So yeah, you're right. They need to bring the first of all, they need to figure out the quarterback. Now, is either do we go? You have 2 quarterbacks in this draft. You have your Indiana quarterback and your Alabama guy. So that's the 2 top guys. Now, is
Simpson coming out? Did we know Simpson's coming out for sure?
I don't know if Simpson's coming out. I don't know, but if I'm just looking at the 2 top guys right now in the quarterback world, if I'm gonna hitch my wagon, those are the 2 college quarterbacks that you're watching Saturday going, okay, I can see it. But
right.
Or do I wait a year And do I see what happens with Arch? Does Nessmeyer go somewhere else? The Sellers go
I
from
hope
South
for
Carolina to
Nessmeyer coming
Miami.
into the season, man.
Right. Again, so but does Nessmeyer go to another program and then he's his draft? It's one of those things. Do you go for those two guys who are the Jets right now draft in the top 3, and so they could get one of those guys, right? Because Tennessee's not going to, they got their guy for next year, right? So you have your pick on the next 2 picks if you want to get. So, or do you wait a year? Do you get that bridge quarterback and then you build up the rest of your roster for your quarterback? So that's your decision for the Jets for this draft, because they got good draft capital this year and they're going to have it next year. So
Yeah,
what do
and
you
it looks
do?
like Nussmeier is dealing with an injury anyway,
Right. And again,
nursing an injury.
and
So
he was
I don't know
replaced
how.
by, again in the Alabama game. So, Simpson looks like the best. But again, how many times have we looked at a guy who has limited starts and we just mentioned him? You just mentioned him, Richardson in Indianapolis. Looked
Hard to trust
amazing.
those are the stature guys.
That's right.
Those are the guys that lack my favorite stat, which is completion percentage. They'll lack that at the college level, but people
Not
fall.
even completion percentage, but just total starts. Just getting more than a season, right? Just
I
getting
think
in
that's
there.
because people see the guy and they think that they can turn that. They like, hey, people love saying stuff like, hey, you can't train 6'5", 280. You can't train 265, 230. You can't. There might be a big guy, and they're like, you can't listen. We can't pass up on it if we can just get it figured out. If we can just
Right.
teach the guy to pass, then look at what we got. Right?
Teach the guy to pass.
Look what we got, man. But that's only because Eugene, the guy has showed you in college that he couldn't. Like the guy has shown you. He's shown you that he's hitting 50 to 60% of his passes, and that's in college.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With a larger window. So when the guy's showing you that, I think one of the things that factors into these not having a lot of starts is that you don't have a lot of opportunities to look bad either. We didn't get you a lot of opportunities for you to look terrible and to know that it would not get figured out. Like, this is you. You know what I mean? If we only see you 13 times or 10 times, or a guy gets injured, some of these guys get drafted after getting injured, then you're thinking, hey, maybe we can figure it out. And some of these coaching staffs are pretty arrogant. They feel like, hey, confident that they can change these guys. But I just think it's hard, man. Like, if the guy is not completing a lot of his passes, percentage-wise, like, he might be scoring touchdowns, but if he's not completing a lot of passes, percentage-wise, in college, it's just so hard to imagine that with professionals getting better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now your percentage has gone up 5-10% now that you're in the NFL. So you got to get what you're asking for. I mean, how often does that even work out? Like, Cam Newton was a beast at Auburn, so you can't even put Cam in this category with these guys. Again, it would have been Anthony Richardson, limited starts. Trey Lance, limited starts. Right. I feel like, and also with Cam, not just from a stature standpoint, he had gone and started at other colleges before he went to Auburn. I think he was in Auburn for like a year or so. But he was beast. He was beast status, man. He
was a beast. But then look at back, who had that long career at Alabama, drafted by the Patriots, had a successful, right? Had that first season great.
He had a playoff run with the
now look at him look at him with the Niners. He's been
looking pretty good. He's looking like, and Mac was never.
He's gonna get a contract.
He was not a bad quarterback, man. Mac was not a bad quarterback.
No.
Sometimes life is just life, and things just don't work out. But it's interesting, and I'm very happy to see a lot of these QBs that were written off maybe with different teams be able to find another career in the NFL. That's actually another starting career in the NFL. I'm happy to see that we're kind of here. I didn't see a ton of that. Growing up in my life. It was kind of like,
it was like
they were put out to pasture, man. Like, they were done. They're going to be commentating soon.
No, exactly. Like, you're waiting for that guy. I mean, since like Geno, it's been. Geno. You had Baker. I mean, no matter what you think, what happens with Daniel Jones is part of this
It's
conversation.
happening. Like if he continues on what he's doing, you can put him in there with the Sam Darnold, Geno Smiths, Baker Mayfields, and what's going to happen too, and what I hope continues to happen is that we keep adding people to that list. Like that list continues to grow. Like we keep adding guys. Hey, this guy was written off over here. He went into this environment, and then maybe you have an environment that's just better for you. Like
Right. And Mac
like
Jones could
more
be that next conversation, right? He could be that next person next year. Like, oh, look, Mac, he helped sustain the Niners to get to the playoffs. Now he gets the starting chance wherever. Let's just say Carolina, I don't know, wherever, or even the Cardinals, right? Arizona. So you have there's these other opportunities that these guys are going to get. Now, like you said, they never would have gotten before. So, but when Anthony,
maybe that's the good Jets. The Jets need a guy like that. And the Jets need just somebody, man. Like you, at some point, the quarterback position just can't be that bad for this long.
No, and that's the thing. That's going to be their decision this year. The two guys right now. Again, something changes, like we just talked about. Now, do you draft one of those guys, or do you wait till the next year draft where it's going to be even better? So do you do the bridge conversation? Get the bridge quarterback.
I feel like it's just a few less. I feel like I think that the issue they're going to have, Eugene, is not necessarily that whatever quarterback is a top quarterback can come out this year is worse than the top quarterback can come out the next year. I think it's just the scarcity of them makes them hotter commodities. So depending on where you're picking at and how you can kind of get to those guys, you know what I mean? Like when you have 5 or 6 guys going, at least you got something to cook with there. When you got 2 guys and then you just got a bunch of names or whoever's coming out, you're not cooking nearly as much. You got to get almost into the top 2 picks because you think these guys are going to be
lucky for
here.
them. They are in those top 2 picks, so they're going to be there. So you don't have to worry about that.
You're going to have to. That's kind of what you're going to have to be dealing with. And then if if Simpson, which I as a Bama fan pray he does not come out, I will love him to play at least for another year. But if a guy like Simpson comes out, yeah, for sure, absolutely, you're number one because I feel like Simpson is number 1 pick material. Like he's gonna go, he's gonna go top if he continues what he's doing. He's gonna go top. He's gonna be a top pick. So at least he has the chops to make it there, and I think that he would be pretty good number 1 pick even this year or next year's draft. But the thing is just getting to the guy. And if you're feeling like you got your number 1 guy, I think they should take a quarterback this year if it is Simpson. I just don't know if he's coming out. The guy from Indiana, I watched who I watched for the very first time, by the way, just last week. Watched him for the first time last week. Let me pull his name up because I'm whiffing on his name. So let's go to QB Mendoza. Is it Mendoza?
Yeah, Mendoza.
Fernando Mendoza. Okay. 26 TDs, 5 interceptions. By the way, for him. So I just watched my first game and we looked pretty good. He's a redshirt junior. Good chance he'll come, right? Like he needs to strike while the iron's hot from his agent. I tell him definitely to come out now. But these guys, I mean, stat wise, looking at Mendoza 23-42. I mean, I kind of like him better than the Richardson situation, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, he's been there, right? He's in and let's just say that Penn State game, great. That guy showed up, right? I saw a tweet. Somebody said, "Well, if this is going to be his Heisman moment, he better do it right now." And he performed. Don't be wrong. He definitely had like one of the best catches from a wide receiver that we've all seen in a long time. But it just like again, he's your guy. It's your 1A.
Okay, so if the Jets are picking, let's say the Jets do get that first pick, and let's say that Mendoza, let's say Simpson doesn't come out, Mendoza comes out. Because I've watched as a Bama fan, of course, every game Simpson has played. But I've only watched 1 game Mendoza's played, so I don't have a lot of tape. Man, the game was pretty good, but I would need to watch more for sure. If Mendoza comes out, do you take him? Is he worthy number 1 overall pick?
Well, he's not going to be number one, obviously, because Tennessee's going to get the first pick because they're the worst team ever. But he is right now. But
I
let's just
mean, yeah, the number one
I see what you're saying.
quarterback.
But
Like,
the first quarterback. Yeah, the
is he first rate worthy of first quarterback
I
status for him?
yes, I would take him, and nothing against Simpson. I like you. I want him to go back another year, and not because
I just don't know if he is coming out. I gotta look. Let me look at his age and see if he is.
he can't come out. He
Simpson.
could do it, but I'm like you. I just again, don't be wrong. He's the Bama guy, dude. Go out, leave, go right now. I'm an SEC fan,
Yeah, Ty
obviously, but
Simpson right now has 21 touchdowns and 1 interception.
right again,
Man, I do not leave my team, Ty.
but
Don't leave,
again,
brother.
look at the games played.
He's a
That's
junior
where
too. Oh my God.
exactly. That's where you get scared
Oh
because
God,
right.
because you definitely. And if I'm your agent, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Eugene? Get out of here! Like, are you kidding me? Like,
But
you're
again,
21
why?
in
But
one
you don't
year?
have to.
Get
But you don't
out
have
of
to.
here.
You
You don't
can make
necessarily
the
have to
money.
because there's
No, you get the
NIL money
NIL.
that
Right.
maybe pushes that off a little bit. But it's just like, man, if there's even a scintilla of you wanting to come out, this is
I
when you do
personally
it.
don't. I don't want him to. I don't want him to because I want him to play. I want the season another year in college. Just just because I think he could be. I'm not saying he can't be a good pro, but just from everything we see from guys who leave, just even Sanchez. Look when he left. Look how long it took him to finally just get some sort of success, leaving USC after that first year of being that successful. Uh, Again, am I gonna cry tears that he leaves Alabama early? No, I'm not. I'm gonna be happy he
Yeah,
leaves.
and he's
But
been there for 4 years already. This is not looking good. I'm looking here at this.
no,
He's been there since 22.
but the starts are not there.
Uh,
Yes,
no,
he
the
is the
starts are
one.
there only for
that-
25.
There's only the 1 year of the starts. I again, you're right. Yes, you're his agent. You're going to be one of the top guys. But again, what team are you
I just
going
think you
to?
think long and hard about it. Hopefully
Mhm.
NIL keeps the Wolves at bay here a little bit. But man, I definitely think you think long and hard about that.
And it all depends, like how well do they do in the playoffs, right? So let's
Correct.
just
And how
say,
do things even end? Like, it's
right.
not
So
really
let's
about
say,
the first couple of months of football.
right, exactly. They're gonna be in the college football playoffs, and they're probably gonna get that first round bye. And so, if they win the national championship? Does that change his thought? Right? Does he? Oh, well, I've done it. Right? So I don't need to stay here. Versus maybe they get the first round bye and they get upset by some other team in the first round. Then maybe he has that hunger to come back. I don't know. We just seen so many times where the kid comes out too early and it doesn't work out. I personally would just like him to come back, have that another year, and see what he comes to be in that class next year. But again, like you said, well, if I'm one of the top two guys, why want to just come out now and be one of the top two guys versus when there's going to be so many guys next year? So
Yeah. And then also, why would you do just like we talked about? And this is just passion that you just want to do it. And just like we talked about with players when we were speaking about
mhm.
Nico and Luca, you're already a top 3, 4 pick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
He's
why
not
would
getting
then
out
are
of
you
the
waiting, go into the next year hoping that you're going to be a top 3, 4 pick?
right, right. I get
You
yeah.
see what I'm saying? It's kind of like you're coming out of one thing hoping, but sometimes the kids just want to come back. You've seen this time and time and time again. So Mendoza's got, it looks like one more year of starts. I'm looking here at his starts. He's been here 23, 24, 25. Um,
He's coming
3,000
out.
yards
There's no way.
last
There's
year,
no way
16
he's
and
not coming
6.
out. Yeah, there's no way he's not coming out. He's got all this attention on him, the team. He's riding this high. He just had this game winning drive. There's no way he's not coming out. It's a different. This is a different conversation than Simpson, right? He's had the starts. He has the things under his belt. There's no reason. Doesn't matter where Indiana finishes. he's coming out. I mean,
So if you're the Jets, do you take him a first overall? Or not first of all, your first pick.
I get what you're saying.
Do you take him as your guy? Because the Jets are hoping. You're always hoping when you make picks like this, it's the last time you got to make it for years, right? And I hate every single draft night when these draft announcers and these draft commentators say they've got their quarterback of the future. They give the guy for 10 years. So-and-so team has just drafted their quarterback for the next 10 years.
Quarterback of the future.
Right. And you're like, come on, bro. Like, you don't even know if these guys will work out of one season. Some of these guys are playing 16 games and they're out of here. Like, it's just such a presumptuous situation that a guy's going to play. They got their quarterback for 170 games. Like, these guys are playing, barely getting through 17.
I like him as a fit just because of I heard a comp. They said it reminds him of I heard somebody say like a Jared Goff. It would make sense for Aaron Glenn to draft him. It fits. What the Jets have now. Like they have number one. They have the number one receiver. They have the number one running back. You have a good number two running back as well. It's let's not forget what they have in that backfield. So. You had that infrastructure there. I mean, I'm not saying you're not going to be wrong if you pick Simpson, but I would take the India guy right now just because it makes sense if I'm the Jets. But again, the Jets don't
So I mean, I feel like they should just take a quarterback. I don't know enough about Mendoza to mount an argument against. I've seen Simpson, and I'm convinced right there. But the thing is, I was convinced the first game I saw Simpson. I'm convinced. I was seeing what I needed to see from the guy, from the eye test, man.
The Florida State game.
Well, it was a situation where sometimes you just know, Matt Ryan was here in Atlanta. It's the same kind of feeling. Of course, his first pass was a touchdown pass, but the thing is, it was easy to see with Matt very early that he was going to work out. Yeah. It was easy to see very early, past an eye test. And it was easy for me to see with Simpson that he was going to work very early, that he was going to work out. Same thing I said with Bo Nix in Denver. Some of these guys, they're passing the eye test very quickly. So Simpson has passed the eye test for me very fast at Bama, and has continued that. That's why I would be super excited to see him go high. But I would hope he wouldn't leave the team. But at the same time, after you've sat for 4 years, you don't really owe a team. You've been a good soldier. You sat for that 3 to 4 years for that team already. Even if it's it may seem like one start in year, which it is in factual.
It is.
But for you, it's been 4 years for you. It's been 3 to 4 years of your life, though. Traveling with the team, doing all the team stuff. You know what I mean? You're still there. You're still on the team. You're just not playing. So I can see that if you get a little bit of fatigue there, but maybe like you said, a win in the playoffs, maybe a win in the national championship game.
It's going to change. It would change
or maybe Austin in the national championship game compels them to stay. You don't ever know these things, right? So we got to really see how it all works out. This is Just the Stats. Reggie Johnson, Eugene Morton. Check us out, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. I started that too fast. Check us out, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you find your podcasts. See you next time.